He sounds happy.
With his father, Vincent, being convicted of robbing a bank in 1993.
What a story.
Grew up poor, spent much of his childhood living with various family members and moved around often. Woo!
Well, there you go. He grew up poor. He probably felt like he had made it already, and he's like, look, I'm done with this. Now I can just live life.
That's true.
Drug abuse and alcoholism.
Or he's a drug addict. I don't know.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh. Most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
Lacey Gardner.
Bridget. You can find me at youtube.com/@punkybrewster.
And I'm Rob over at Rob Stuff and Things on TikTok and YouTube.
You're damn right he is. And today, we're here to talk to you. Just come closer. We're here to talk to you about The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon's 4th episode of its 3rd season, titled, get ready, Bridget, La Justicia Fronteriza. That means frontier justice. We do have a little bit of housekeeping, and that is if you head on over to squawkingdead.com. The website's been a little tinkered with to make a little bit more sense in terms of what we have on offer, like a listen page to see all the various ways you can watch or listen to us. But more so, there's a little section on the front page and a separate page for our merch design embedded in our website, squawkingdead.com. Head on over there now, hit the main menu. You can still go to the TeePublic merch site, as well as see the designs that we have up for our coverage of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, as well as some of our merch relating to The Walking Dead Season 11, the 3rd trimester, and our regular logo designs with the moon and the updated font. We are Squawking Dead. The types of merch that we have on offer is brand new, higher quality. In some cases, the merch is cheaper than it was on TeePublic. In other cases, we have more higher quality embroidered designs, which obviously are going to cost a lot more. We have hats with embroidered designs. We have a whole bunch of things, coffee mug tumblers, coffee mugs, black and white coffee mugs. And that's just the 2 main designs that we have on offer now at squawkingdead.com. You can still head on over to tpublic.com via the link in the description, as well as on squawkingdead.com. There's the 2 links under the main menu, which you can use to go to TeePublic to order stuff from us. Let us know what you think. If we could be doing more with the website itself, if something doesn't look right and we missed it, or if there's types of merch like apparel or accessories or anything under the sun that you think we should be doing, let us know ASAP in the comments or DM us. We'd really like to hear from you. We need your feedback to know if something is working, something isn't, what is cool, what isn't, what you might want to buy, what you might not want to buy. Maybe you don't like something that's in our store. Maybe something could be improved upon. I definitely want to know, because your eyes, your feedback is going to be way better than mine. It's hard to tell when you're in the thick of it, what looks right, what doesn't look right. Looking at it from a mobile device versus on a desktop, etc. So again, head to squawkingdead.com, check out the design in general for the site, then check out our merch and see if that section looks right, the merch looks right, etc., etc.
It looks really good. I was actually looking at the hats, so when I can, I'll probably get it.
Yeah, I was checking out the Daryl Dixon merch and our cute little Carol and Daryl cartoon on the front of it.
I updated that design too over the last day or so. It does look a little different than the way it used to. So pay close attention to the differences between the old merch and the new merch. And if you have a preference, audience, let us know. Part of the background is removed so that it takes on the color of whatever you're using, like a tumbler or shirt or whatever, a hoodie. La Justicia Fronteriza. Bridget's shaking her head just for the audio podcast, just so everybody else knows.
It's the Barcelonian accent that you're throwing on constantly.
Which, by the way, I cannot wait to talk about. This is on the heels of our last episode, which I apologize for not being there for to the audience. I'm not apologizing to any of you. You guys handled everything well. You don't need me anymore. It's fine. Actually, it's great. But just the audience. You're great. You guys are great. Everybody else, sorry. Obviously, it's a line that was used by Federico de Rivera when they were punishing the Los Primitivo at the end. But what else is frontier justice in this episode?
Isn't everything pretty much frontier justice now because it's not like there's a set law or anything that anybody's following. There's no government, there's no law enforcement. So literally everything is frontier justice.
Boom. It's a prevalent theme.
I was somewhat disappointed in this frontier justice. As someone who's read a whole lot of books about Native Americans and settlers, I'm super disappointed in how milquetoast and vanilla this frontier justice was. They chained him up and let some walkers out on him. Like, whatever. That wasn't exciting. That wasn't different.
I was just disappointed that he didn't last as long as I thought he might.
Yeah, he like
I thought there'd be like a couple of
immediately.
scenes in between. He's still going.
No.
I feel like they could have gotten just a little more creative with that. This is it? I was getting all keyed up for something really, we're going to give frontier justice. And then it was like, we're just going to tie him up and let some walkers loose on him.
Oh, and then we also barely got to see it too.
Right. I was so disappointed.
And you could tell why. This episode is very long.
I even said that to Dennis. It's super long. I kept waiting for it to end, and I'm like, oh, it's back again. Okay.
Right, exactly. So when it airs tonight, it will end at 10:12.
Wow.
And the episode length, unedited, without the commercials, is 54 minutes. And you could tell, when you're watching an episode that's really good. I mean, I'm not saying this one isn't, but when you're watching an episode that's really good, you can't really tell the passage of time. You're like, oh, what the hell is okay? All right.
Sharon, I kept being like, oh, okay, yeah, it's over. And then like it would come back and I'm like, I guess not. Fine.
Right? Okay, it's still going.
Fine. I guess we'll keep
Fine,
watching.
I'll keep
When
watching.
it finally hit the Insider episode or Insider, I was like, finally.
Which, and the first thing you see is that's the trick, right? Just to hit on that is that it's not the first thing you see is the episode or Insider, Bridget, TM. It's the lead into the next episode, right? But you can't tell because it's been going on for so long. You're like, oh, here we
I'm
are.
like, wow, back again? Come on.
And they're like, oh, wait. Then you're like, no, right?
Yeah.
Because I know some of you don't
Yeah,
like
I shut
watching.
it off.
Stop. I don't want to see this.
I turned it off.
Rob and I are like, yeah, we'll keep going.
Yep.
Let's keep watching this. Border justice, a big overarching theme that Roberto actually brings up. Unknowingly, because Roberto is Roberto, and we'll get into that actually a little later. But he says, how can this guy promise us safety? Touche on the guns, according to me, not according to Roberto. I have a beef with that part.
I'll give him that because I was like, yeah, what has he done for you? And then he's like, well, we had these Gatling guns because of him. And I was like,
we're here.
Oh,
So you're on Roberto's side. You're like, damn, the man.
Well,
like,
yeah, okay. Yeah, have you met me? Yeah, obviously, Dave.
Yeah. It's very hard to kind of know where you stand sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
burn
all
it
of a
all
sudden, you're
down,
like,
Dave.
I'm libertarian, but burn it all down, Dave. Viva la revolution. And we're actually in the right country.
It's like you
or is it
can't-
revolution?
Ugh, I hate you. You can't.
It is actually.
You can't remove
Spoiler.
that young 13-year-old that used to wear an anarchy symbol on her t-shirt because she thought it was cool. It's in here somewhere, Dave. That's why sometimes I'm like, forget it, just burn it down. And this
Guys.
is one of those.
When I was a kid, I made my own flag. It's like anarchy, but I'm still a country. I just see that.
I did not make my own flag.
I made my own national flag.
No. No.
Question is, would she rule with an iron fist? I'm doing this for your own good.
Yeah, but a benevolent leader.
Dictator.
A benevolent dictator. Yeah.
We've reached a new layer in this
I am
onion.
everything that I hate.
I would be Bender. Remember in Futurama when Bender was the god for a little while?
Yes.
And he was like, I was God once. He's like, yeah, I saw you were doing really good until everybody died. Like, yep. Isn't it also kind of what's going on here? Everything was great until everybody died. Al-Alcazar was a great benefactor until everybody died.
until like they realized he was wearing a crown of lies. you sit on a throne of lies, Guillermo Torres.
He does. He does.
Guillermo Torres.
I was dead wrong about the barbarians the last 3 episodes, my guess.
Yeah, and that was in my notes as well. I was
Oh,
like,
they
Yeah.
were lame and ineffectual? Who could have guessed that was going to happen?
I wanted him to be right, actually, too, because
Yeah.
there was no indicator that was the case. But I'm like, well, maybe he is right, though. Maybe there'll be a twist and they're actually good. But we don't know yet. It just doesn't seem right.
Forgive me if I'm overstepping here. I don't know what since when do I care about that? I feel like potentially they are working for El Alcazar.
I had that same feeling,
Yeah.
actually. Like, we work for no one. I don't work for you, but we don't bend a knee to Guillermo Torres. Though both things can be true.
But really, I do work for him, and I'm here to mess your ass up because he's mad. Because he's mad.
Big mad, bro.
It reinforces their need for El Alcazar. Oh, you think you don't need me and you can talk back to me and question my authority? Well, here, you're going to get attacked, and now you're going to see how much you actually need me.
It's almost as though the thing that I said in the second episode about the nets and the walkers and his men being out there at the beginning of the second episode, then they find Justina and Roberto.
Both respective Walking Dead shows this year having walker projectiles.
Yeah, what was the first one? Was it?
It was
Walking
Dead City. Yeah,
Oh,
when they were
right,
firing him
right,
at the
right.
boat with the methane walkers.
Right, the walker mortars.
That was kind of out of Lord of the Rings, taking the body parts of the dead and shooting them back over the wall.
Who knew that they were so influenced by Lord of the Rings for this season?
I want to play the music from Lord of the Rings over the flaming ball of walker parts.
We
That'd be
have
a
to get a
great-
"You Shall Not Pass" somewhere.
You shall not. And then hits Gandalf and he flies
Gets
off the bridge.
wet.
Oh, so sorry, Gandalf the Grey. I never finished my point about border justice, which was he himself points out, how can El Alcazar really protect us? There's absolutely no way. I love Bridget shaking her head right now. It goes to your point, Sharon. He puts a finger on it. There's no way anybody can save you. You need to save yourselves. Like, obviously, you have to do the training, and everyone has to do the thing, and they save themselves, and everybody needs to learn self-defense. Judith and Gracie.
I'd be interested to know how far away this throne of lies is, because realistically, how can you protect this city? It doesn't make any sense. It's like every mob movie you've ever seen where they're coming around
A racket
you
for
to pay
protection.
for your protection.
I was just going to say, it's just running a racket. That's all.
Yeah, it's just racketeering for sure. It's all that's happening.
So the insider for the next episode does say where it is. Apparently, El Alcazar, if you remember, is the palace, is the royalty, right?
Yes.
Enjoy my Spanish. Is where his seat of
He's
power.
in Barcelona.
Yeah, that's where he resides.
Okay.
Okay. What did we say in the last episode about where Jeffrey Grimes was based out of the Alien comic book?
Barcelona.
Even I, upon hearing that, got a little... I know better. I know not to get too excited because they're not going to do it. There's not going to be some protagonist with like a Spanish armor helmet. I saw one of the frames of apparently who this Jeffrey is in the episode, and they'll be like, it's them sneakily showing Jeffrey Grimes without him actually being on the show.
I'm hoping they actually just do Jeffrey Grimes.
So now we have to go around the room. Who thinks this is going to be a thing? 'Cause I'm curious too.
No.
You don't think they'd
I
finally
don't
give
think
us
so.
something?
No. No. Gimple gets so much joy out of doing this to people.
I know, that's
out of
why.
being like, maybe? No. You're dumb. No. You're so stupid. That's all he's ever doing.
For once, I'm going to take a page from Rachel's book, because if they end up doing it and me with my hopes down here, I would probably lose my bowels instantly.
When thinking about if they brought Jeffrey into it, and then, somehow he finds out that's Rick's brother, meets Daryl, whatever. He's like, oh, I knew your brother. And then starts talking about how Rick died, because as far as Daryl knows, he's still gone. But then Carol would be like,
yeah.
oh, by the way, I didn't want to tell you because you had a kid over here.
Back.
I buried the lead, but he's back.
I didn't want to tell you. Tell me what? Or else you just kill Justina and Roberto. Oh, just get rid of them, get their stuff, and go. Rick's alive.
They also might just leave it open for everybody's interpretation. If they don't make anything clear, then we get the joy of speculating forever.
Yeah.
That's my thought. My thought is that they'll leave it open-ended. They'll have like a background actor or something in the background. Like, Jeffrey Grimes. Looks like him, but not him. Canon.
So you mentioned the killing Roberto and Justina because of the spots on the boat. I fear that everyone will die due to the amount of spots on the boat, because there's only 4, and so that's all you can bring, and who is that going to be? And so now it's just kind of this wondering, like, is Justina gonna die and Roberto and his dad are gonna leave, or is it his dad dies in some weird, because obviously there's something that happened between Roberto's dad, Antonio, and Fede. Clearly,
Stay here because this is a great conversation to have. Let's say there's 4 spots. Who would go? Because I like the bait and switch. I like what they did at the end of last season, where it was only Ash and only Laurent that flew away, right? Because you had mentioned Antonio, and I see sparks with Carol and Antonio. And I wonder if Carol doesn't end up going with Daryl, actually. It would upset many
You
people.
think she would actually
it
stay
really
behind?
would.
But if we could find a way of making it okay narratively, because isn't the one thing that we all want from Carol is her to have a happy ending over our own desires?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be the being okay with things.
Yeah, especially since she doesn't really have a family, like a direct family. Like Henry's dead, Ezekiel's, they've separated. So the only person she really has is Daryl. That's close.
Right.
The thought did cross my mind, Dave. So, like, I think there is some storytelling here that's leading us down that path of, like, maybe Carol would stay with Antonio. Part of me feels like this city is, like, on the edge of falling apart, so it's not going to matter ultimately anyway.
But who better to be the queen of this palace? Wouldn't she be perfect to be the one to come in and pretend to fake it till you make it queen of whatever this is? This could be Queen Carol. She takes on the role of Ezekiel, and then Antonio's like, okay.
The fact of the matter is, Carol has way more experience leading probably than a lot of these people. So she's the most qualified, arguably. But while it pigeonholes your character, then she's there. And you're like, we're probably never going to touch on that again. And they haven't done a ton of that with the main characters unless they're dead.
All fair, by the way. I just think it's very interesting to ponder how that could go down. Well, and then they kill Cooper.
Yes,
The guy
I know,
from
which I was
California.
like, of course, you immediately introduce him and then are like, bye. Also, what did he mean when he said he was a what?
Banana slug. I did look it up.
And then Daryl's like, what? And he's like, yeah, through and through. And I was like, I still don't understand what you're saying, you weirdo.
So there's a couple things. So he keeps saying through and through, by the way, for one thing, about being a banana slug. And then he mentioned something about his mom, like if she made it through. And then he got an arrow through him. So I thought that was kind of somebody's trying to be cheeky. But banana slug refers to Sammy the banana slug, the official mascot of University of California of Santa Cruz.
Oh.
UCSC.
Only a select few people are going to know what that is.
No, this is just for us because they love when they're like, oh, banana slug. What? Okay, now Squawking Dead will explain what a banana slug
How
is.
Californian of him to be
Monterey
like,
Bay.
I'm a banana slug. And when someone's like, what? He's like, he just like moves on. Like, well, you should know what that is.
Also, he died, Bridget. So you didn't have a chance to explain it.
I know. But he's directly asked and he immediately is just like, I'm going to sidestep
He's like,
this
yeah,
question.
I know. You know, right? You know.
Who are you?
He's Cooper. Rest in peace,
All
Cooper.
I could think was, this is not going to go over well. This guy, he talks too much. He won't stop talking.
Daryl, talk some more.
And then immediately he's dead. And I was like, well, never mind.
Right.
Someone had to die, I guess.
Did I
Some
want
kid-
that to happen? Did I make that happen? Bridget thinks because he was annoying me.
Was I the only one that noticed immediately before they even really introduced him when he was teaching Daryl to tie knots? And I was like,
Mhm.
this guy
Sailor
doesn't have an
knots.
accent. It kind of threw me off. Was there another American actor not doing an accent or what's happening right now
Why am I
until
not
they finally
special
said
anymore?
he's from there? I was like, okay.
Yeah, when he
But-
did the knots, I was like, oh, he's American. I didn't really think much about it because I was like, well, clearly he wants to be there. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're taking this guy too. And I was like, oh, okay.
We should have known he was going to die as soon as they said that. Oh, this red shirt just said he's going with them. Yeah, bye.
I know.
The color grading must be off because I thought he was wearing a yellow shirt. But yeah, you might be right. It was like an overly yellow tint to a red
I
shirt.
know.
So the banana slug is the official state slug of California. I don't know how that.
That's not true. Wait, maybe the state slug. If a
Yeah.
slug were ever a state anything, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's
I want to
Yeah,
know the
state
state slug of
slug.
New York now. I got to find out.
It's the I don't know, this garden slug. We find them in New York City too, by the way, just so everybody
Mhm.
knows
Oh, I know.
what little grass we have.
they're also hermaphroditic, in case that means anything to anybody.
Not particularly in this context.
So Los
Okay.
Primitivos committed a hate crime?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
know?
They knew. They knew. You'll notice they
Darius,
waited.
get him.
You'll notice
Burn.
they waited until he said he was a banana slug out loud to kill him. So
What did you say?
Terrible.
Like they heard him, or they from a mile away. What is happening? They just want to destroy everything and everyone. They're equal opportunity wanting to kill everybody.
oh,
and
maybe
burn it
that's
all-
my
and
group.
they burn it all down, Bridget.
That's
We
my
wanna
group
burn it-
then. But they sucked and they were so ineffectual.
So now you know, Bridget.
They are
Who
a
you
group
associate
full
with.
of Peter Baelishes.
Baelish Littlefinger?
Little finger.
Little fingers.
Who do you think was more successful, this group or the Wolves?
No. At least the lead up to the Primitivos wasn't as serious.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a lot more of them than there was of the
The
wolves.
wolves,
'cause
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
There were a lot of people that attacked the village, but then there were even more up on the ridge shooting, firing the
catapults,
walkers
yeah.
into
That's true.
they had a lot of people. Like he said, tens, hundreds, millions. I don't think there's millions of them, but they could be quite a force. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the unknown is a really because that fight scene was a predominant part of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
When they showed the close up of the heads mounted on the
Mhm.
Jeep, the one that they showed up really close that was like biting and growling,
Oh, later
it
on.
had huge eyes. I don't know like if this is a variant thing or if it's just the way he designed it. His eyes were ridiculously large for his head.
I noticed that as well. It was the one eye actually more than it was anything else. I think it was the way the lid was sagging from the face because your eyes are way bigger than this behind your skull.
When that popped up, I was like, oh,
Literally.
I wonder how they did that. And then I was like, that looks like maybe that's like a little robotic mechanical head.
Oh, it
'cause
was
of the
definitely a puppet,
movement.
yeah.
All I could think was like, man, we've come so far in special effects and we still can't quite get the look right for a human,
Are you
saying
specifically the
practical?
eyes. Yeah. Well, no, in any. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about CGI, Dave. None of it can ever quite get to what a human actually looks like. Like there's always something that's like a little bit off. And that's what that made me think of. Like, not that it wasn't great. It was great special effect work. It was very impressive. But something about it looked off enough for you to be like, that's not a person. Like, that's not a real human.
I think The Walking Dead doesn't want to be too realistic as well. You need it to be just far away from what it would actually look like in a way.
I would disagree. They do very impressive work all the
No,
time.
I don't disagree.
That is incredibly realistic looking. But I mean, there's nothing to compare it to, Dave. We don't have zombies.
That's my point, actually.
Like,
That's literally my point.
it's as good as you can get in the guesstimate to what a walking dead person would look like.
Would be
Like,
after 13 years, too, depending on how the age
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
infected or whatever. But that's kind of my point, is that you don't want this to literally be bodies bleeding as humans and the skulls to be photo accurate and to everything be super accurate. Like sometimes you want an impression of what an idea of what a zombie would look like as well, lore wise, comic book wise, whatever. Because even the comic book zombies didn't always look what you think it might look like. It used to be a person, is all I'm
Mhm.
saying.
well, yeah, they had like white eyes and they
And-
look crazy.
Yeah,
in-
some of the features were a
in the
little bit
comic
too much,
Yeah.
but for a reason. And I think the show is trying to do that as well. In the early seasons, for sure. New Outbreak, even if it was only a few months or whatever it was, they look so much like us. But as time passed on, it's like, okay, well, we want the show to continue going, and maybe not everybody likes photorealistic or human accurate zombies, and maybe they have to look more gross over time, maybe a little green, like to pay homage, maybe a little
Mhm.
gray, the black and white. Maybe the teeth have to be burnt out. Sure,
I mean, to some degree, I agree with you. I mean, it's as realistic as it can look
get
for something
yeah, and
That's
things
made up.
sag.
completely.
Yeah,
That's
we're
not
this
a
is
real
like
thing.
makeup. Remember, like I remember we were talking about how is it that after 6-year time jump plus 2 years, 8 years, how is it after 8 years the teeth in the skull of the walker can bite down and it's like you're biting, they can bite down iron and they won't break.
That's true.
It's less about the teeth breaking. It would more be about the teeth falling out of your head as your gums
that's what I mean.
receded. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought of excuses of why, how that could be, etc. That's it right there. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
And that's a thing that constantly to this day comes up on the Reddit for Walking Dead. Dave, you've seen it, where people
You're
are
like, get out of here.
how could they be walking around still? Like, the show is still on. Okay.
Get out of here.
You're watching a zombie show. Like, I don't know what you expect, but there's has to be some suspension of disbelief in order to enjoy this.
I'm mad because this show about zombies is unrealistic.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
If the dead, like, how would you know? It's never happened before. You don't know? Shut the hell up. Delete your account. And then they do, because so much abuse.
Yeah, I know. I posted a photo once of a car that I saw at Halloween that had the message, the Sophia, we will come back or whatever from season 2. And I took a photo of it and I cropped out the license plate and I put it on Reddit and I was like, found in the wild, like, because I was like, this is fun. And I was so excited to see it because this was like only like 2 or 3 years ago and people aren't still that into Walking Dead. So I was really excited about it. And I got lambasted by like some guy who was like, this is your own car. And I was like, no, it's not. Why would I do that? Like, I don't care
You blew
about
out the
this.
license plate. Yeah, that's just what nice
Like,
people
this is
do.
what people do. And I remember just
I
being
wanna
like,
track
are
down the
you?
license plate.
I
Well,
just
the funny
called him
thing-
back. I was like, are you okay, bro? Like, are you all right?
Right. The funny thing about that is, even if it was your own
It was
car,
Rob.
someone else would probably, right? Someone
Yeah,
else
it
would
was
take a picture, do what you did, and they would say it was their car.
Yeah, exactly. It's so
Like,
stupid.
the
It's
people
so
are just
stupid. It was so
nuts.
dumb. So anyway, people on Reddit are dumb. That's basically.
Well, not everybody.
People everywhere are dumb on every social
No,
media
it's not
platform.
true.
It doesn't matter which one.
Oh, that's true.
I secretly admitted to somebody that I'm starting to cop on to what you guys have been talking about all these years. Maybe people are just stupid, a little, mostly,
Oh, yeah.
kind of.
Well,
Maybe?
George Carlin
Probably.
said it best. He said, picture your average guy. Now remember that half of the people in the world are dumber than him. I'm paraphrasing, but that was like basically what he said. Yeah.
Simplified, yeah, because I know he went like
Yeah.
another and then double that. That's how many stupid people there are.
So Fede and Antonio clearly have some sort of beef. It's long-standing. It's old.
Is it complicated?
It's complicated. It has something to do with Antonio's face burn, potentially. Maybe has something to do with the death of Roberto's mother. There's a lot there. We don't know because we haven't gotten anything. And frankly, he told Carol maybe they know each other well enough. Okay, I don't know why this popped in my head. Nothing in the writing led me to believe this other than the throwaway line of it just isn't right, the two of them together. But what if Fede is like a scumbag who impregnated Antonio's wife and she had the baby. And so the baby is technically Justina's cousin.
Ding, 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 ding.
And is that why
That's what I
it's
was
not
thinking, too.
right for them to be together?
I don't think that he's a scumbag. I think they just broke up, or it could be that the love of his life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
cheated.
Yeah, equal rights. Equal rights. She was a scumbag.
Yeah, they were both scumbags equally. Yes, that was my thought as well. It's easy to jump to the whole, oh, he did a essay on her, and like,
Oh,
okay.
no. That didn't cross my mind at all.
But then he promised to protect her. Da, da, da. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, and I think part of you watching him defend the town is also to make you more sympathetic to him as his practice is what he's doing with the town. Like, he really does love this town, and he believes that this was the right thing to do, is to pay tribute and all that stuff with the ofrenda.
Let me get a feel for the room then and do like a temperature check here. I have at no point felt like Fede was horrible. I felt like there was more to the story I just didn't understand.
Yeah, I was on the fence. I didn't cast him out as a bad guy initially. First watch, yes, and then second watch, I'm like, oh wait, maybe not so much.
I don't even know if I felt that way. Nothing about what he's done so far seems horrible. It's like maybe he's just overprotective, like is kind of where I've been of Justina. I haven't been like, oh yeah, he's an absolute monster. I think he deals with monsters, but I don't necessarily consider him like a bad guy.
It really depends on the level of his knowledge as to what's happening to the girls in the ofrenda.
Okay.
That would determine how bad or not bad he is, I guess,
Sure.
where I would go with that.
But even that wouldn't make him bad if he is justifying it by, I am protecting all of the other people in this town by sacrificing one girl.
The needs of the many.
He may know what's going on, but he's like, hey, I'm saving 15 other girls by letting this one go.
Well, and we know he's saving the town with the guns that he gets at just one thing of the many things that he does receive as a result of the ofrenda, having the guns. It is literally the whole town for one girl every year. I'm assuming it's a yearly thing.
Yeah, I would guess.
I was thinking that somehow he is really Justina's father and not her uncle. And somehow that's a relation to Roberto and Antonio.
Oh, so you do still think there's a chance that they are related, and that's why this is like so frowned upon. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We don't want any Lannister action going on here.
Well, they were the Lannister thing. They were twin brother and sister, right? Jamie
Yep.
and Cersei.
Yes.
I say this, don't judge me, but they're just cousins.
Well, technically, it's legal. It's legal here.
It's illegal in many states. The overwhelming majority of states.
It could be a situation where maybe they're twins and they were born together, but they got separated for whatever reason. Again, they could throw a monkey wrench in here and prove us all wrong, but I think somehow they're related, and that's why it's not.
Well, undoubtedly, because I came to this conclusion, and I'm like, yeah, this checks out. It's not at all going to be what happens. Like, this happens every time. I'm like, yeah, I have a theory, and it's a good one, and then I'll like back it up with my evidence, and then it'll still be completely wrong. So
it'll turn out being that like Justina is really the true queen of Spain or something, and like she couldn't marry
That would be
Governor.
It's Anastasia, but in Spain.
It's Anastasia. Post-apocalyptic Anastasia.
I just feel like if that is true and he is her father, she just doesn't know that. But I feel like if that's true, that he would have maybe fought harder to stop her from volunteering herself.
I don't think she went to him. I think she went straight to Alcazar, and then he couldn't backpedal it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to be a slap in the face to Alcazar if he steps in and says, nope, not her. So he's got to let her go. So I think
that's what that scene was about too.
Yeah, she really forced his hand in this regard.
Yeah, solid theory. I mean, things I wrote in my notes is exactly what you said. He's the child of Federico and Antonio's wife, makes things super complicated. And so a lot of the scenes where Fede is dealing with Roberto makes so much more sense. Roberto openly says, I'll accept whatever punishment. I'm sorry, whatever, etc. Because there's no hope now for him. He's like, okay, I'll take the lumps. And he's like, no, I'm trying to be nice to you because unlike many other people in this town probably would do the same thing and I would treat them like S. Yeah, even Antonio says, we don't know what he'll do when he yells at the door and he's banging it. This is the beginning of the episode when Daryl has his first flashback and everybody in the town's hearing him. He's defying his authority, etc. And what happens to people defy authority? They get put on the Palestinian hanging, the reverse hanging, whatever it's called. Starpado, whatever. So that kind of makes sense. It makes sense that he is his real father. And remember how he gets into his face almost as though he was his son. When they come back the first time coming to town, they're like, what were you thinking of, Coño?
That's true. Yeah.
Well, why would you do something so stupid? Mira mi coño. That's what he said. Look at me, P word. I don't know. What can I say it? I don't know. He said it. There were a lot of these words, by the way, thrown around in this episode. And a few of them they actually did translate to. Puta,
I noticed
whatever.
that too.
There were a plethora of F-bombs in this.
I noticed that too.
American F-bombs.
American ones.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
like 3 at least.
Appropriately placed too. Not like this food is effing good. This was perfect. Anyway, moving off of that, Bridget did she say where she was going?
While we're just here for a second, I was watching some Great British Bake Off clips the other day, and David Morrissey was on it.
Ah.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the bakers. It was Stand Up to Cancer Celebrity Edition.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did
Is
he
that
do
a
it?
recent filming or is that older?
I don't know. I was just a string of clips from the show, and it was focusing on somebody else they were talking about. I just happened to see him in the background. It was really funny. I was like, hey, the governor is baking.
The governor is baking. One of his least offensive things he's ever done. I just wanted to find this for the audience in case they wanted to watch it. David Morrissey appeared on the 2023 season of the Great Celebrity Bake Off for Stand Up to Cancer, specifically in Series 6, so Season 6, British, Episode 3. He was part of a celebrity lineup that also include Lucy Beaumont, Tom Daly, and Adele Roberts, where they tackled challenges like a savory quiche, tea time biscuits, and a show-stopping cake to raise money and awareness for cancer research. I want Rob to choose the next subject because there's the flashbacks that we just got from the start of the episode, but there's also the nope.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go into that one.
Okay.
Okay.
All I could think was, wow, carolers are really going to lose their mind over this. Because that is
Yikes.
confirmation of what I've always known, which is that they're friends. And they're
Let's set the
nothing
stage of what
more
we're
than
talking
that.
about. Because even Rob was like, wait, what are you talking about? Nope.
Yeah.
It's for a second. I got it.
Yeah. Well, they're arguing about Cooper coming onto the boat, if I'm not mistaken. Like, we don't really need, which, first of all, let's start there. Daryl was very insistent on not having a knowledgeable person who was way more capable than he is, even with the learning about knots and everything on the boat with them. Did that frustrate all of you?
Yes, because I was like, dude
I
can
did.
literally get you across the ocean.
I was like, well, who cares if this guy comes with you or not? Like, what's the big deal?
No, I
Mhm.
get his rationale also, but it does not hold up. You're being too dumb.
He doesn't want to feel responsible for this guy
Absolutely.
because look at what happened to Julian.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You know, they take Julian and Julian dies.
And we mentioned that in like the second episode or whatever. He always blames himself for anyone that dies around him. So, like, of course, he's carrying the weight of Julian. He's carrying the weight of, wow, how quickly I've forgotten the nun's name.
Isabel.
Oh.
Isabel. Holy cow.
Wow.
We're too far away from it already, Dave.
We've
I've moved
drifted.
on.
He felt responsible for Rick's death,
Yes, correct.
and he had nothing to do with that.
He blamed himself
Well,
for
I mean,
Glenn's
Rick's
death.
death.
And technically, it was a direct cause and effect situation.
Yeah.
Daryl acted out, so then Glenn died. But honestly, all
With Rick
of that
too, though.
truly
Same.
goes on the shoulders of Negan. That does not transfer over to Daryl. He didn't cause that truly. That's how his brain operates. He just blames himself for everything.
Precisely, he pulled a Morgan. I get it. In fear. But it was the same thing with Rick, though. Had he not taken Rick out and detoured him, not taken him to where the walkers were diverging and all that stuff, that was the whole reason why they ended up at the bridge, whatever. Rick might have been alive. It's all the cause, like you said, cause and effect, but he's not really to blame. No one's really to blame.
Yeah.
What happened would have happened, as Aaron said. It's less that than him just saying, I don't want to be involved in your minutia. I don't want to be involved with anybody. I just want to get home. But it doesn't hold up. And he does this throughout the episode too. Every single instance, he does not want to be involved. It's not your fight. The beginning of the episode, it's not your fight. Don't get involved. Let him have a temper tantrum. Let him bang on Fed's door. If he gets killed, if he gets punished, not our fight. And even the guys in the background, as he was saying, not our fight, they were going, nah, They were doing the, what was the guy who was the basketball player who did, not in my house.
Okay.
Dikembe Mutombo. Yeah, not in my house.
Oh,
No.
I would like you to stop.
With his
'cause it
very
sounds
long
like
finger, by the way. He's just
sounds like a
very,
Muppet
very large
for whatever
person.
reason. As you say that. Please stop.
Anyway,
He
there's a
sounded
guy
like
in the
Fat
background.
Albert.
I'm gonna actually probably. That's well. Anywho, one of Fed's guys in the background at the door as please don't get. He's basically saying, "Don't get involved." Yeah, you're right. Don't get involved. Shh. It was like a little cheeky. Okay, that set the stage for Cooper and
There's a lot I miss about my old life, but things have changed. I've changed. I'm content here. But my point stands. Take Cooper.
No, we'll be fine. We just had a little bit of bad weather, bad luck.
Your boyfriend sure doesn't like taking advice, does he?
No, we're not
Really?
really.
You've never.
Never.
Nope. How's it looking?
What? Anyway,
his boyfriend. No, not me. Even though she had a dream about him being married to her, or whatever, which is what the carolers are going to say Sunday night, which is the day we're recording, September 28th.
They'll
the
say
day
it
of the
tonight, and I will not listen.
But yeah, Carol had a wet dream with Daryl, and like, it wasn't a wet dream; it was a weird dream.
Okay, haven't you ever had a dream that you were married to Norman Reedus? Because, like, I have.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
I have had.
Honestly.
I did snuggle up to my sweetie Daryl, and we had a dream of mine. It's exactly what you think it
He's a good-looking
is.
guy. Everyone's gonna dream
He's
about being
definitely
married
not.
to him.
He's definitely not. But it's like a sign I've watched Walking Dead a little too late. The show's playing in your head, and you're like, "Well, let's snuggle up to my sweetie Daryl." Season 10.
Obviously.
When you really have to worry is when you find yourself married to or after a walker.
That's
Oh my
how
God.
it was.
That's when you freak out. Like, I've watched too much of this.
Well, you did when you told us you caught up, so you can cover The Walking Dead season 11. I think it was.
You mean when I
Nightmares.
was watching 12 hours of Walking Dead a day and having nightmares about it?
Oh my God.
I go to bed to it, but that's because I like the
Yeah, it's
soothing
like it's my comfort
sounds
show. I just watch it for
of walkers.
2 false sleeps.
If white noise is a certain way and green noise is a certain way, what would be walker noises? What color would that be?
Yeah, that's it.
What color would it be?
What color would that be? Brown?
Rot-
It wouldn't be
Gray.
brown.
Uh,
Gray
Rotted.
noise?
Great.
it'd be gray, gravelly,
It'd be rotten
static
noise.
noise.
It'd be puce?
rotten noise.
Would it be puce noise?
Yes.
I forget if that's like more on the pink side or no,
It's
is it the
not
green
puce.
side?
I don't know.
It's not puce, Dave.
What is puce? I just like the word. Anyway,
You're
All right.
wrong. I'm just telling you, you're wrong.
She goes, no, we're not together. Why would we be? And then Daryl goes, nope.
Just walks away.
I can see the other side of this. Carolers are going to be like, see, he said nope, like he was irritated, like he wants to be together and she won't let him for whatever reason. But honestly, it seemed to me like an irritated, like,
Wow. I did not think that. But
that is going to be the
Okay.
justification. I'm just preparing you for what's going to happen.
That's how they will frame it for sure.
But to me, the way that it came across, it honestly felt like Norman saying it. Like it sounded like Norman just being
that's
like,
what I was about to say, by the way.
because people have said stuff about the two of them because for whatever
real
reason,
life.
people on the internet cannot control themselves and understand that people are real people outside of their characters.
No.
And so you remember when Melissa said she didn't want to go to Paris and then all of a sudden they're like flying off the handle. It's second to Wiz Khalifa and Kanye's fight on Twitter as my favorite Twitter fight.
We dedicated a whole separate episode to that conversation.
Because it was so crazy.
It was stuck in the middle of a conversation we were having about the bonus episode of The Walking Dead season 10. It was diverged. That's when they found out that Melissa wasn't going on the show. And so we had this 10 or so minute conversation that saved us a bunch of time that we took out, by the way, on this whole subject, which I will now have to link in the conversation somehow.
Well,
which is fun. It's fun conversation.
I say all this to say, like, to me, it felt like he was saying, no,
I agree.
Of course not. She's like my sister. She's my best friend. I love her so much, but not in that way. And people keep trying to shove us together and I'm not interested. She's not interested either.
Maybe.
And that to me is how that kind of felt because like there's clearly a love angle happening with Antonio and that feels genuine and organic and not forced or contrived. And I want to see where that goes. And also Daryl's love of his life, we could argue, just died.
Yeah,
he has like
not in the mood to get
absolutely no
involved.
interest in getting with anybody else at this point. But also, this is always kind of how Daryl's character has been. He's been like really slow to open up. It takes him a super long time to connect with someone. Daryl and Carol did have little flirty banter at the beginning of knowing each other.
You mean Carol?
Well, Carol did.
Carol
but the
did.
thing is, I talk to people like that. I talk to everyone like that.
It's safe.
It's fun. And it's like, it doesn't hurt anybody. And it's just like a harmless little thing to be like,
As long as you're all in on the joke, everything's good.
yeah. Anyway, I've never really gotten it, but I'm finally justified in my feelings of this never
Also,
having been a thing.
Daryl doesn't have a cat. He has a dog. That's not her
Because
style.
Carol is only into guys with cats.
Yeah, obviously.
Starting with Ezekiel. Sheba. She's a
True.
big cat. That's why she was super into him. Big boner, big cat, right? So I love how I broke Bridget with that one.
I was like, maybe? Wait.
Who has the boner? Yes, Carol.
Maybe?
Anyway, what I was saying was, yes, what you said, Bridget, and I remembered that they're both executive producers of the show. And so that was just in addition, there's a little stank on them saying Daryl going,
I hate
nope.
it when you say that.
Like I'm saying everything you hate today.
You are.
Barcelona.
It's and when you do it on purpose. That's the thing.
Justicia. Anyway, so there's a little authority in what he said. And going back to that episode that we released, talking specifically about this, is it any wonder? That's what it was. Because you have to understand what they were saying was Daryl's literal wife was preventing Melissa and he from being together in real life, which is bananas.
Is so insane. What an insanely crazy thing to say.
Now, I feel like I should say the following because of all this. We're a show where we try to bring people together and their different opinions, and everybody should be entitled to their opinion, even people who think Daryl and Carol should be together. And even I said in the last season that there were breadcrumbs that they were trying to make us okay with them being together. After the Mont Saint-Michel arc and they were hiding out in the house and Janae eventually makes it to that house, the old couple, the old man loses the wife, I think it was, or it was the other way around. I can't remember which. It seemed like they would make it okay. The way they were laying the breadcrumbs eventually that they would get together. And maybe that's still a thing. We don't know. Antonio dies and that's on the table again.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion about this. It doesn't bother me that there are carolers in existence. I mean, I'm not like rid the world of this plague. Like, it's fine. You're welcome to your opinion. I think your opinion is wrong. I think it's misinterpreted. You see how close they are and you want that to be more. And I get that. ship whoever you want. I don't care. I mean, unless it's like really weird.
Well, I mean, even if it is really weird,
I mean, yeah,
whatever.
you're still entitled
Just
to
don't
that.
hate other people for not agreeing with you.
Mhm.
Ship whoever you want,
exactly.
as long as you're not shipping the real actors.
Yeah, please. Please. Please.
I mean, there's some people who do the Rochon thing who think the same thing, which is not, I don't care either way. My
it's
beef.
not really appropriate.
Yeah, my whole thing is, because I remember seeing a thing recently about, the new Superman movie with David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan from Miss Maisel, right? There was like a little weird thing about Brosnahan really liking the kissing scenes with Cornsweet, and it was a little weird how some of the tabloids were reporting it. I don't know if it was tabloids, but you know how it goes. But I don't mind any of that. My whole thing has always been, just don't make people feel bad for disagreeing with you. And that's what I want to say here. I hope we're not making you feel bad for thinking what you think. You're entitled to it. We just might not agree with it. That's all. But just don't make other people who disagree with you feel bad. And the reverse, people who don't think Daryl and Carol should be together should also not make people who think they should be together. Don't make them feel bad. We're not trying to make you sound stupid.
Dave. Sorry. That didn't sound genuine at all.
Sorry. Not real. Sorry, not sorry, Dave, with your.
I'm sorry. I am genuinely sorry. If you listen to the show, you probably know how I stand on the Caroler thing in the first place, but I apologize. I genuinely am not trying to make anyone feel stupid. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, exactly. And when we do make fun of it, we're more trying to make fun of the folks who would otherwise make you feel bad for not thinking the same as them. They just kind of get in your face about it. It's like, well, this is supposed to be fun. We love the same show. Stop. And now if you get in my face, maybe I'll throw a little insult here and there and just in good fun while you take it very, very seriously. And I'll be like, oh, what about Daryl and Aaron? How about that? That was my favorite ship, by the way.
That was honestly a genuine thing that was going to happen at one point.
I mean, as somebody, what? Say that again.
He's agreeing with you.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that I thought that was something that was actually going to happen.
Based on what? Like your own feelings or a thing that you read?
Just the way they were kind of like
startled just then that you agree.
Aaron was kind of interacting with Daryl and bringing him into his house and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously he was with Eric at the time. Having read the comics that Eric dies, are they planting those seeds to move forwards? I mean, you never know, but obviously that didn't happen.
Right. The bad part about that was, and just, I know we're going on a side tangent, but I understand finally, like years later, after having my ship being ruined. Right. Aaron and Ezekiel. Not Aaron and Ezekiel. Whoa. I just named a completely random ship. Aaron and Jesus.
Dave's just shipping Aaron and everyone.
Like,
who doesn't love Ross Marquand though?
When is it Aaron's turn?
I thought it was going to be a three-way with Jesus, Aaron, and Daryl at one point, and then when Jesus dies, I'm like, well, Daryl, pick up the pieces. Daryl and Aaron. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Because Daryl's a tabula rasa. But then I realized many years later, today, how would the ladies feel about this? Because that's the key demo of this show.
Yeah.
If Daryl and Aaron were happy, then I would be all for it.
You would. Yeah.
You're a great person. That's why.
Like, go for it, guys.
Which brings us back to Carol and Antonio, doesn't it? They've basically pit you and your feelings about what you want versus what would be best for the character. Let's hypothetically best for the character for her happy ending. And now it's like, okay, if you don't want this to work, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. After losing everything and everyone, her children, her spouse, her fantasy spouse is what Rachel would say about Ezekiel, which I say was a legit spouse. 6 years a relationship does a marriage make, I think, personally.
Yeah, I think so.
So you could stick that in a pipe and smoke it. But losing all that after losing a child, right? The thing that we often talk about for some reason. So yeah, happy ending for her, and her children are half cousins. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to the flashbacks. I have a bunch of screenshots, by the way, but I wanted to show this first. Right before it goes into the flashback, you see this clock, and I thought it was kind of cool. I thought maybe you guys would appreciate it too. First of all, it is 5:50 a.m. So Daryl and Roberto coming back with the rudder, realizing that Husina is gone. It's really early in the morning, etc., whatever. But I like the keys on top of this. I didn't do any research on this, but look at the keys that are on top of the clock. Now it's 7 keys. There's a little biblical meaning to that. Several keys, 7 keys, several meaning many. The key to unlocking your memories. There's a little bit of play on that. What door are we opening here to Daryl's past that connects us to this narrative? And this is what you see next. The dartboard on the side of the Dixon trailer with Daryl being...
It's not. It's actually next to it. Because when it pans out, that's in the background and Daryl comes out of the door on the side. I thought the same thing when it was zoomed in on it. And then as it moves forward, it's not.
Daryl's motorcycle and training there in the front.
Yeah,
there you go. With a little banana seat.
I know. I love the
banana
little
slugs.
The little
Banana
Banana
streamers.
slugs, banana seat.
Little streamers.
There you go.
So cute.
Then there's this like stuffed animal, which I thought I could figure out what this was actually.
That's the gorilla from Showbiz Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain to the podcast audience. It's a stuffed gorilla with yellow fur,
I think
darker.
it's kind of white.
It's yellow.
Oh, it's not the
yellow,
Showbiz Pizza gorilla. He's in a tux.
Anyway, yeah, it's wearing like denim overalls, was really like a velvet and a white or denim hat. I thought it was one of the Hanna-Barbera characters, like
Manila Gorilla.
Magilla Gorilla. Yeah, but it's not.
No, and I want to just say the name of the Showbiz Pizza gorilla is Fats Geronimo. And I just needed you to know that.
I didn't know that.
What state is that chain in? Is that in North Carolina?
No, Showbiz was like the origin of Chuck E. Cheese.
Showbiz came after.
Oh.
Chuck E. Cheese was first.
Okay.
The guy that worked with the guy who started Chuck E. Cheese didn't like the way it was going, so he split off and made his own copy of Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
And we had Showbiz Pizza in North Carolina because I went to
we had
Showbiz Pizza as a
and Chuck
kid.
E. Cheese. Yeah, we had both in Jacksonville.
I can picture the purple tickets or whatever from Showbiz Pizza. I don't know. This one reminds me kind of Donkey Kong, like 80s Donkey Kong, because it's got like the hat on and the overalls.
Well, it's modeled after one of those big apes, but definitely not that. Be like Donkey Kong Jr., if anything, but not. It's definitely not that. Because they didn't wear clothes, the Kongs, until much later, until the N64 iteration, which is already like 30 years after Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He used to just have a tie.
Donkey Kong Jr.? Or,
No,
right.
Donkey
Well,
Kong.
he ends up wearing a tie, but he doesn't have it in the original game.
Yeah,
with the
no, I
arcade game.
know.
Yeah. Anyway, but you can see Daryl behind the stuffed animal. There's a little truck in the foreground and an ashtray, obviously. Obviously an ashtray in the foreground as well.
What do you mean? That looks
Cacti.
like a candy dish.
Yeah, they know candy. Oh, no, wait. I think that is Daryl, maybe. That looks like a child's hand. over
Yeah,
here
I thought it
on the
was
right.
Daryl. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. And obviously Daryl running away. Now, I know the screenshot you're referring to was when he exits the trailer, which is a hard one to get for me. I really mostly wanted to get a good shot of his face so that we can see it's the same kid from the flashback from the last episode.
Yeah, of course.
I also love how the hubcaps, now that I'm looking at this properly, for no other reason at all, how chromatic everything looks. You do see the cooler that I mentioned when we saw the first flashback when they were in the first episode. It's kind of like a highlighter green. But then if you look at the hubcaps, instead of like gray or yellow or whatever, they're this chromatic blue. I'm referring to this here. That was weird. So there's definitely some color messing around with here. Or I don't know, maybe it's just the way it looks. And I also love the turtleneck on top of a turtleneck, half turtleneck with a full turtleneck that Daryl's running away with.
I found a gorilla that's very, very, very similar in overalls. It seems to just be like a very generic vintage toy.
I see. Tartan overalls instead of... Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it does
no, I know, but it looks
very close.
very similar. Yeah.
That's what you sent me just now.
Mm-hmm.
That looks way closer to what we're talking about.
Well, because it's
actually.
got the two wobbly eyes, which the original has like one eye is like askew. Just seems to be a generic gorilla toy from the 70s-ish era.
Wow. Let me do the description of this one too. It's vintage brown gorilla in tartan overall, soft plush toy, pleather, face, hands, feet, which I noted it looked very pleather. Unbranded year 1980, so they know that much. Animal gorilla, definitely have the right eyes.
Mm-hmm.
This is
but
perfect.
if it's unbranded, then it's just like some generic like vintage toy that somebody found at a shop and like included in this shot.
Okay, so we saw the flashback, and we've been seeing a bunch of flashbacks for the last few episodes. I wanted to get your take on what you think they start to mean. How does this connect to the narrative that we're watching? How does Daryl's past of running out of the house? Clearly, he's been running away from his dad's beatings, and he's been running away. I think that's the thing that we need to focus on is him running away from his problems and them being there probably when he gets back. Or who's been taking the beatings for him but Merle?
I'm not 100% sure, but Merle is considerably older than Daryl, I think, canonically. Old enough that there's like a fair difference. Because Daryl mentions that Merle left him behind. I assume Merle, 17, 18, hit the bricks. And when that happened, Daryl's there maybe 11, 12, 13, young enough, 5 years or more age difference, that he would be left alone with his father. It's hard to tell with kids because when they hit like that age, then you're like, you're 16? How can you drive? You look like a baby. Anyway, all this to say that I feel like this might be that in-between time because this is when Daryl's getting the brunt of everything. His mom has died. He's with his dad. Merle's gone. The only person to take the beating is Daryl.
At this point, yeah, and we didn't note the black eye, which you had a problem with, the font.
And that's... your pirate font. And that's when we know that he's running away a lot into the woods. Not anywhere in particular, just running into the woods to get away from his dad. I can't say that that's 100% true. That's the feeling I get from these flashbacks. That correlates then to Daryl feeling like he's been left behind.
We talked briefly about, I think in the last season, about Daryl's mom. We don't hear a lot about his mom until I think Beth and he have time together in the 5th season, was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, we hear about when his mom died when he's talking to Carl after Lori passed.
You're right. Thank you, Rob. Yeah. That's the only time we really hear about, because the stories with Beth are about how his dad is drunk. Just like not great stories, but Daryl's past is tragic, just horrifically sad.
Well, why do I bring that up though? Because she is out of the picture, leaving him and his father. And obviously Merle's out of the picture, like you said. So they're alone together. And what does a miserable father do to a child?
Well, let's not forget either the story that he tells about William Dixon and how his dad, his grandfather died. And so that made his dad miserable. And so then his dad made him miserable. And it's all about breaking that generational trauma. That was a big piece of this. There's the generational trauma aspect. How do you get Daryl out of this funk so that he can be the right guy for Laurent when he does get back to him? Like, because right now he's not the right guy for Laurent. He doesn't want to help others. He's like shutting himself off. That's not who Laurent needs as a father figure. So if that's who he's supposed to be, then he's got to work through whatever this is. But there's also this concept.
Instead of run away from it.
Yes. There's also this concept of being left behind though, which I think is why Daryl always has such visceral reactions to people dying and he blames himself because it's all linked to this like childhood trauma of like being left behind. Like his mom died, then Merle leaves and he's left to deal with all of this sadness, essentially is what I would call it, and grief, because that's all his dad feels. Anger and grief.
Stuck being the last man standing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I think it ties that all kind of together. I feel for him in this season. And here's the thing. I said this last episode. He's not been wrong with anything that he said. I think it's easy for us to be like, well, he's supposed to be the good guy. He's supposed to be the hero. He's supposed to help. But like, that's not your burden to bear all the time, to like step in and be the hero and the martyr all of the time. And if you get into that like self-sacrificing mentality, that's like so bad for your mental health. Now, mental health in the apocalypse is next to nothing, because like really, what kind of mental health can you have when
you make it up along the way?
But he's not wrong to say, I don't have to take on these other burdens. Because, you know, Roberto's like, she wouldn't be gone if you had brought us back here. Yeah, because you'd both be dead, dude.
Wait, so you mix that with frontier justice, because we make up the rules. The only thing that exists is what we make up along the way. However, I do kind of have to, I don't want to push back too much.
Well, go ahead.
Because there's two things. There's two things at play here. One is I'll start softly and say, I don't think it's about right or wrong.
Okay.
We make it up along the way. Technically, I'm not beholden to anybody. I'm not responsible. Like there's Samaritan laws for a reason, but then there's also like, screw you. I don't have to save anybody. Whatever. I'm not telling you what I believe. I'm just saying, here's what's out there. But then there's frontier justice. It's like, okay, well, if I stick my neck out, my head could be lopped off. That's true too.
Yes.
But the other part of it is, aren't we a little bit responsible over one another as a species or as a people or as a humanity, as a society on a level? How are we going to move on without that?
It depends on your base viewpoints, truly. Well, as a person, I want to do the right thing. I assume that I would want to do the right thing and would want to help people. But where do you draw the line?
There's a saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
So if you don't have the bandwidth to give somebody, then
if you don't have it to give.
If you don't have it to give, what do you do?
Yeah.
I see stray dogs all the time on the street, and you know how many times I want to stop and get them, but I can't because I don't have the bandwidth or the energy or the space to deal with more than what I already have.
Yeah.
I want to do it, but I can't. You can want, but not have the ability to provide.
Yeah, and that's the big difference: ability versus desire.
I would say to that point, Charity, like Daryl's cup is empty. It's not to say that it's going to be empty
Emotionally.
forever. He can't pour because he just lost Isabel. And I get it. Like for us, this big passage of time has happened. Obviously, you just said earlier, I forgot her name because there's been months
Isabel,
in between.
yeah.
But this is happening back to back for Daryl. Like he just lost her.
See, this is the thing that I do get. Emotionally, he's not capable. This is what I was saying also. I'm so sad that I was not with you guys in the last episode because I did say ritual offering when it came to the Rubik's Cube in the St. John's Memorial thing.
St. James.
St. James.
St. James.
But given our conversation now, it feels like it's more like what you were saying. I'm not really the man that can be Laurent's father, really, technically, if you want to put it that way, like found father. What Antonio was to Roberto, if our theory is correct. Found father. So maybe he isn't ready. Maybe he's leaving the Rubik's Cube to say, well, he'll just get a new one, a better me when he gets there too.
Yeah. But again, Daryl, he has some of the worst self-talk. He thinks he can't be the guy for Laurent, but Laurent connected with him and that's who Laurent wants to be around. And so in that regard, if that kid feels safe with you in a world like this, where like nothing feels safe, then just be the dad, dude. But I get it because Daryl's always like, I'm gonna mess everything up. That's all he ever tells himself, because I can only assume that that's what he was growing up hearing from his father. You mess everything up. You can't do anything right, because that's what it's like when you're in an abusive domestic situation.
There's what we want and what we can have as well. I think that's a reality as well. He can't literally be there for Laurent, but he knows tons of people who can be, that would be not, he's not thinking maybe better, but they happen to be there and they're going to be either good enough or better in different ways.
I also think that he wants to get home because he wants to get to Laurent.
Yeah.
Like part of the reason he is so, I want to go, let's go home, is because he has this obligation. He wants to be with Laurent, and that is driving him to the point that he doesn't want to get involved with anybody else. He can't afford the luxury of getting involved with other people because he wants to get back to basically his son.
Yeah.
Who not only does he love him anyway, but they told Fede, you have to take care of Justina, take care of her after we're gone, whoever they are. It's the same thing with Laurent and Daryl and Isabel. Isabel, you have to take care of Laurent. So he can't face anything with Isabel because he's not even doing what she asked. He's not with Laurent taking care of him. So he wants to go. He does not want to be involved with anybody else. He wants to go take care of his business.
So I'm going to lightly disagree, only because I would normally say two things can be true. Oh, it could be true that he wants to get home for Laurent, but it's the thing I'm about to say. I actually think it's closer to what Bridget says. I get involved, somebody gets killed about our people actually in general, but more Daryl's self-aware at least of one thing, and that's I get involved, people get killed. Look at Cooper, Banana Slug Cooper.
I brought it up when I was bringing up the comparisons between Negan and Alcazar. Maybe like subconsciously he's seeing the similarities to this guy and Negan, and he doesn't want what happened to Glenn to happen again. Get involved and cause somebody else to be killed by a Negan-like figure.
There's even recent stuff like Julian even. But you're saying a Negan, like a malevolent figure. I see what you're saying.
Right.
But I'm just saying I'm closer to that being the reason, a negative reason rather than a positive reason like Laurent to run to get home. I feel like he just wants to go home because that is reverting to your default state, or at least your newfound default state. I'm here, but as long as I am here, I'll get people killed and hurt. I don't either be a chance to fall in love with another Isabel, let's say, or to find another child whom I might befriend and be a surrogate father. I don't want anybody. I just want to be left alone.
But don't we also all just want to go home?
Yes, that's mostly it.
You're on vacation, you're having a great time, but I can't wait to get home. I want to get home.
And for no other reason than I just want it, right? It's even though home may not be the best place for him.
Right, and it's not like he's having a great vacation or anything. He didn't choose to go there either. It's not like he was like, oh, I'm going to go to Spain and France and hang out. No, he was basically kidnapped and forced to go, and he just wants to go home.
That brings me to what Valentina says to Carol, though. You could come with us. Don't you miss the sea? Don't you miss the way you used to live your life? Wasn't it amazing? And Valentina says, quite frankly, no, I was alone. And now I'm not. The Walking Dead universe makes it so you could be the person you were meant to be. And now she has many husbands, let's say. We'll just call it that.
Well, she says she's alone, so they're not husbands.
Is she alone?
Well, she says she like lives alone, so she wants her space. This is just like a...
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Touche. But she says, my life is different now. I read that as to pretend otherwise would be not being true to myself, not being the person I was meant to be, let's just say. That's not me anymore. And so I took that as a cue for both Daryl and Carol. Daryl, you're not that person anymore. You're not the person who runs away from his problems. You're not the person who, when you get hurt, you're not that kid anymore. You're not the person that when you were going to get hurt or threatened, that you ran away into the woods until it died over, and then your father wanted you back again, or who knew what? I don't know. Nuanced thought. But you're the guy who rushes into things. You're the guy who stands up and defends things. It's what we, the audience, expect of you because the Walking Dead universe made you into the person you were meant to be. Instead of getting an Officer Friendly's face, you changed. You decided to be a different person than people even expected you to be, by the way.
Rick was very much a Merle replacement for Daryl, big brother figure.
The brother he was meant to be.
Because he still thinks Rick is dead. So you grew up and you didn't have to rely on Merle anymore. You are moving past the point of having to rely on Rick, even the memory of Rick.
That's also true. And this whole series could be seen as him learning to let go of that idea that you don't need to rely on or lean on somebody or even the memory of somebody. You have your own drum to beat.
That you can be a leader. Like Carol told you in season 2, you're just as good as these other guys, because that's what she tells him. You're just as good as them. Every bit as good as Shane and Rick. Better than Shane, obviously, because you didn't try to kill your best friend.
He ain't here right now.
I'd argue better than Rick as well in many areas.
Yeah, he's a tabula rasa. Of course, he's the potential to be way better. He's no comic book lore to back him up. This is something I also wanted to mention. This episode never felt more like a spaghetti western than compared to the others. Even though they're barbarians, it's like a shootout scene.
Yep.
And the guy in the end with the Gatling. Well, and I can't wait to. It's not a Gatling gun, by the way. This is a very interesting weapon. But all the different weapons.
Well, that's what he calls it, Dave.
He doesn't call it a Gatling gun.
Yes, he does.
In the show?
Fede does.
He calls out for the ballista. Is that what he calls out?
No,
Antonio.
after the fact. When Roberto's like, they don't do anything, he calls it a Gatling gun. It says
he says
in
they
the
gave
subtitles.
us the Gatling gun.
Oh, okay. Well, it's technically called the Gardner gun.
Don't play with me, Dave. Don't play with me.
The Gatling gun has one crank.
I don't remember much, but I remember
has
that.
one crank. The Gardner gun has two. I looked it up already. It's you're and
I'm
the magazine's
quoting the
on
show,
top.
Dave.
Magazine's on top. It's not fed through a line. And I'm just saying. We'll get to that. Anywho, that's not the point. The spaghetti western thing. There's the face off the mayor and the kid. They get into each other's faces. Very spaghetti western. Whose philosophy wins? The getting hijacked in the middle of nowhere. Right? Justina and Roberto. Who stole them? Who took them away? A bandito did. And then the ultimate shootout. Yeah, whatever. Bandito, bandolero, same language-ish.
I'm sorry. This is so inappropriate, but the Frito Bandito song gets stuck in my head every time you say Bandito.
What is that? Frito Bandito?
Ay, I'm a Frito Bandito. I love Fritos corn chips. I steal them from you. You don't remember that?
I know, no.
I haven't heard that in ages.
Interesting. Now we'll
anyway,
have to play
cut that out because I'm going to get canceled otherwise.
Why? Is it because of...
For that, you sang a song that exists.
Yeah, that's all. It's your childhood. Nostalgia porn.
It's actually not. It's my mom's childhood. It's from before I was born.
Oh, okay.
Too,
That's probably when I was born.
Definitely, my dad used to sing that.
Yes. I know. It's like something our parents
That explains
sang.
a lot. Since we touched on it, let me show you the weapons and what they mean, because they are old weapons. This here is a Gardner gun that Fede is wielding. How do I know that? Well, I looked it up. There is a dual hand crank, which is not typical of a, what did you call it? Gatling gun? Gatling gun was one of the first, obviously, created in the Civil War, I think it was, a turret gun, a submachine gun, the first submachine gun. That was a single crank. Ammunition was fed into it. This has a magazine on top of it. It's still a turret gun, but instead of being fed, you just pop in, pop out. This was more handy for World War One. Apparently, I think it was.
Fede would be deaf after using that thing.
Yeah, no
for
kidding.
real.
The Gardner gun was invented by William Gardner of Toledo, Ohio in 1874, captain of the Union Army of the Civil War. This started evolving very quickly from the Gatling gun. Obviously cool. You're seeing side shots of him feeding this thing with this dual crank, this dual opposing crank. Looks like a badass. Okay, so the submachine gun that Daryl's wielding, there's 4 types of machine guns that have the side-fed magazine. And I think this is the gun he's using. It's the Owen gun. This was invented in Australia. This is the first of its kind compared to the other ones. One was made in England, etc., etc. It was invented by Australian arms inventor named Evelyn Owen. This is a guy who's named Evelyn Owen in 1938.
It looked like a stick gun. It was so crazy looking.
And also when I compared it to the other types of submachine guns, this one looked the most like it, the Owen gun. He initially invented a turret type gun that looked like this, side fed, etc. He wanted to invent something that when you were in a crouch position or in a sniping position, the magazine at the bottom wouldn't get in the way. So it was on the side so you can crouch down with it. That was the whole reason for it.
That's interesting.
Or if you're like in a static position or whatever. Okay, this, I love this thing.
This reminded me of the
Hwacha from season 11. Exactly. Fede, when he was calling out to Antonio saying, get the ballista. The ballista is a lot like the Hwacha, which was in Korea. It's an ancient Greek weapon. The initial ones that were made were kind of like the earliest form of the crossbow. It's this huge thing, right? Kind of like the catapult that we saw in this episode. It would be that, only it holds a big ass bolt. This version of it has multiple bolts that you can use in a sort of rapid fire action. It literally pushes it out. Instead of uses a tension spring, it uses how does it work? You pull it back, there's a torsion spring, and then you let go and then it kind of pushes forward. Instead of a rubber band effect, it pushes the spring forward. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but this is the side view, obviously. And there's like a little thing that aims it at the top.
You sound like Ralphie from Christmas Story.
You'll shoot Uriah.
No, with the and a thing on it to aim and a thing on it which tells time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it reminded me of. A scope? Did you mean a scope?
Yeah, thing on the top. Scope at the top. You didn't think of it right away. You're like, what is that called?
No, I knew immediately because I've shot a gun before.
Oh, okay. Well, you waited so long to say it. I'm like,
well, because I thought
of
Ralphie. A thing on the stock which tells
it all
time.
had to come together. So I don't know if you noticed when it fired. Everything was happening so fast, but it fired these 6 off. It's 12 bolts. It fired these 6 off at first, and then it fired the remaining 6 off at the same, the second round. I thought it was really cool looking, but let's go back to this. Look at what they're firing. These little
they look like
hook-shaped arrows.
harpoons.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It has that like little catch at the bottom, so like if you did get impaled, it would be hard to take it out.
You'd have to push it all the way through
because the ends have like a kind of a hook mechanism. Anyway. Oh yeah, let me go back to the flashback too. I think there was something else I wanted to say about that. Yeah, what you said about, I wanted to mention his mom only because there is some symmetry there. Antonio also having lost his wife, Roberto's mom, Roberto and Justina running away from a situation instead of staying and dealing with it, which Antonio kind of mentions. They're mending the fence. This is your home. Why don't you stay and fight instead of run away like Daryl does as a child? Lay stake to your clone. This is a frontier. There's nothing set in stone. We don't have to follow Alcazar or whatever. Just stay here and make your stand. I mean, as much as he's flaunting authority and Antonio doesn't want him to do that, he still wants him to stay at home.
At one point I saw Alba's mother crying. Oh, it's in the aftermath of the war or whatever. But I think Alba's holding her. Someone is holding her. It panned so fast and I didn't go back because it was at 6 a.m. or whatever when I watched it.
And it was right around the time Fede says Antonio cleaned up the burnt, hollowed ones. The burnt
I feel
walkers.
like, yeah.
And so we quickly gloss over it. So
I don't think anything happened to her as far as I know.
Yeah, because I was worried this is one of those show don't tells that we might have been served better. Somebody's telling something.
Yeah. I feel like they would make that more
stupid,
prominent if something bad had happened to them.
Exactly. Oh, tell me what happened just now. Like the one Primitivo going, like beating his chest and the Daryl Burks him really quickly. That's what you get for showing off.
That's what you get for trying to be intimidating to Daryl Dixon. He's like, I don't play any
Well, he
of
was
that.
behind him. He didn't know he was there.
Oh,
You know,
fair.
it's like it's kind of like a video game. You know, when you sneak up on somebody trying to taunt after you
Mhm.
kill somebody, and then Daryl sneaks up behind you, murked. Then that's what you get for celebrating. Excessive celebrating.
You're saying every other Spanish word like so meticulously, and primitivo, you're like el primitivo.
It's not prima. It's not primitivo. It's not the prima facie, whatever.
Primo.
It's
Primo.
primitivos.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, shut up. That's what I just said.
No, you said primitivo.
No, I did, Dave. I was
Say
mimicking
primitivo. I'm like,
you.
primitivo. So you want me to like?
Primitivo.
You want me to lean in? Want me to lean in? Okay, here we go. You asked
Well,
for
I'm
it.
just saying, be consistent in your
Los
annoying behavior.
primitivos attack. Right, because I did the V as a B. B. I live for this. What did you guys think of this episode? It was definitely long, and you felt it the span of time.
Yeah, I was kind of
I
like,
enjoy a good action set piece.
Same.
oh,
yeah.
I was kind of like, can we get a move on here with the story or what?
Yeah, that's kind of. I was kind of the same as you, Bridget.
While
I was
note
like,
It's
taking.
truly
Let's get on with this,
men's
please.
brains versus women's brains.
Yeah.
we're like, no thanks, please move along. And you guys are like, yeah, they're fighting.
Yeah, cool guns, man.
Wrap it up already, Fede. I thought you were a mayor. I thought you were in charge of this place. Oh, I did. Okay, I did want to mention one more thing. Carol calls Daryl out.
That that you're thinking. It's a mistake. Same mistake I made back in France. It's the same mistake we're always making.
Kind of to your point, same mistake we're always making. But
Yeah.
shut up, Bridget. God, you just want him to go home to his sweeties, all his friends,
I
snuggle
do.
with them.
I do.
Selfish.
He needs to get back to his little ass kicker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, you know what to say. Fine. But then he says,
Not a mistake.
We're always fighting everyone's fights. Sometimes we have to fight for ourselves.
Anything's worth fighting for, isn't it? Two young people that just want to be together. How can you not even care?
What makes you think I don't care?
which I was like, okay, all right, fair.
Well, stop acting like there's nothing we can do.
Justina's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. She ain't coming back.
Then he says,
Hell, none of them are coming back.
hell, none of them are coming back. I want to know what you thought about that line, because obviously he's in a state of mind. This is kind of what I was saying before. It's not about as much as about him going home as it is, I just want to go home,
Yeah.
but none of them are coming back. Maybe it's anybody we know, and I'm just going home to go home. Maybe it's anybody we run into. They're all
Oh,
eventually going to
I felt like it was anyone that they had lost. Like they're not coming back. I can't do anything to change it now.
But that's what always happens is I think more of what he's thinking. Like, it doesn't matter who we meet, who we save, who we do this, who we do that. They're all
To
getting
be fair, from the very beginning to now, any group that they've touched has fallen apart.
Let's go even deeper. Isn't that kind of what Morgan was doing in the Walking Dead flagship? I see faces of dead people, and it's the people who are alive, but you're already dead, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Well, because really for Daryl, like the only person who's been around since the very beginning has been Carol. Like that, it's not only the fact that him and Carol are close, it's the fact that Carol has been there since before Rick was there.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been together since the beginning. This is the only person who has stood the test of time. Everyone else has like fallen off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if
Right?
you want to talk about Walking Dead,
I mean,
that
if we're
picture
talking
with the
like
Walking Dead
first
character is
season,
grayed out.
if we're talking, that's a season 2 promo. If we're talking first season, Amy gone, Andrea gone, Jackie gone, T-Dog gone, Shane
Rick, for all we know.
gone,
Jim, Carl,
Lori, Ed, good riddance,
Dale,
Sophia
Glenn.
Morales and his family, very gone.
Officially now, as of season 8.
Very, very gone. The only person who's still around, the group that existed before Rick came, is just Carol and Daryl. That's it. Everybody else falls away. It's like, what's the point of even getting to know you? Because you're going to die anyway.
Right.
Which is like super miserable way
Which
to
is
think.
like makes
but-
my point even more
Yeah.
hard to deal with.
It's super miserable, but you can get where he's coming from in the same respect.
Yeah. 100%. But there's a yes, I 100% get where he's coming from. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, isn't this different, Daryl? We've known this Daryl, or this growing iteration or learning and growing iteration of Daryl for so many more seasons than we haven't. That Daryl falls away in season 2, essentially, for trying his best to find Sophia and failing to do so, even getting shot through stomach because he looked like a walker collecting all those ears as well.
He didn't get shot. He got grazed in the head.
But also, didn't he get a bolt to the stomach? No, maybe I'm wrong.
He fell on his
Oh,
No,
bolt
he
through
fell.
his
He
side.
fell
Yeah.
on an
Thank
arrow
you.
on the bolt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. But one half times
Yeah.
over the other, he still got hurt pretty badly because he was confused. He was that disheveled, trying his best to look for this walker. Or sorry, not walker. But what he thought would be
He was a
child.
walker.
Right. And then what was that for? But he does feel crappy, but still, it takes him on this journey of not being that guy who would get in Carol's face at first, like kind of being mad at her. And we kind of know why now, because his mom passed or whatever it was. I think it was she passed.
Mhm.
And even though you don't want to blame a mom that couldn't be there for you, you do feel resentful that she died and left him with that guy, which is probably him transferring his feelings to his mom. You left her. You lost her. You're a bad mom. So when we kind of know what he's feeling, where he comes from. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages. We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button, if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications, and sharing the show, or clips of it, with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comment section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode. We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast. Oh, I should mention this before we wrap up. The sheer amount of burning stuntmen
Yeah.
through
That was
the
a huge burn stunt.
9 burning stuntmen at the same. It's like 1, maybe 2. That's what you usually get in a series. I have never seen anything like that.
Game of Thrones has the record. It was like 22
Oh wow!
in the battle when Daenerys attacked the Lannister supply train.
When
the Dothraki
Jaime
attacked,
saves
and
Braun.
the dragons burned a group of men, and they set like 22 guys on fire at the same time. They have the record. Yeah.
We'll see. And what's the difference? Whereas Game of Thrones has millions of dollars per episode thrown at it, The Walking Dead makes negative money trying to make their episodes. They're in this constant running tab at AMC.
They got to be making something in order to keep the show going, right?
They make it up on the back end with all the relationships I think that they have with Netflix and stuff, but and AMC Plus and whatever, et cetera, all the licensing that they get eventually worldwide. Because when the season ends, they sell it to the other networks across the world.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. Anyways, I say this only because we should be so lucky.
Yeah.
We always say this. With whatever you feel about the series, where it's headed, what characters do what, and what conventions people end up going to, whatnot, and whether they'll still be around, we have to celebrate them while we can and try to, as best as possible, without being too critical, bash them. Because you can have your nitpicks, but would you rather have it than not have it? And at what cost? I do appreciate you guys sticking around, and I know we started late and whatnot, and I think, what is it, 2 hours and 30 minutes in? I'm happy. I can't wait to see the next week. We're going to see a pretty cool mode of transportation, I think. Why didn't we think of it? No, I'm not, but I'm very excited for you to see what I saw in the teaser. And if you did see it in the teaser, how crazy is that?
Is Daryl going to ride a whale?
Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it? Yes.
You got it, yeah.
Daryl's really the Deep in disguise. We just didn't know it.
Deep thoughts with D. With Big D. If this does end up taking them to Barcelona, I would be pretty psyched if there was something even resembling Jeffrey Grimes or the alien. That would be cool fan service.
I really hope they do it.
You know,
we'll
honestly, the way that she said it, that it's like a friend's brother, I assume that if they did do it, it would not be Rick's brother, and it would be some other relation to somebody else, which still
Like a
would be cool.
callback, I would
It would be
say.
like a fun little turn on it, but just because they don't ever follow the comics like exactly, I feel like that's how they would probably do it, but I don't know.
But
Just
wouldn't
a
it be
thought.
cool if they had some of the characters, not just Jeffrey Grimes, and you're in the middle of the drama?
Mm.
Oh,
We'll see what
kinda cool.
happens.
Be better if they did.
Be a lot
Uh,
cooler if you were.
Yeah.
Be a lot cooler.
I am curious to know what people think about who makes it on the boat. That's the big ticket thing I want to get in the comments is who makes, if there's 4 spots, you could say 3
They're
people.
all
That's
gonna
fine.
die, and Carol and Daryl are gonna be the only ones that leave. That's the way it always
I
happens.
think someone comes back with
I
them.
think they'll make a flotilla. See, I'm going the other way. They'll make a flotilla of boats to America. That everybody have a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
It'd be the Spanish Armada.
Exactly. It'd be the Goonies, everybody.
Although the
And
Spanish
then-
Armada didn't turn out too good for Spain, so maybe
Well, that's what I'm
not.
saying. And then they go to Astoria and then they find a cave and it's like time folds in on itself. And that's how you get the Goonies. I have the key to One-Eyed Dixon.
Hey, you guys. I can't even do the voice right now. I can't do it.
That's the most posh sounding
So-
sloth I've ever heard. Hey, you guys.
It was so lackluster. I'm normally quite good at it, but I can't do it right now.
Escúchame.
I'm too sick.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week and have a good one. And I hope you enjoyed that. And I really am eager to see your thoughts in the comments and if obviously your ratings too. And I just realized I have to say goodbye. Bye.
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
Thank you so much for making it to the end of yet another episode of Squawking Dead. This one, our conversation on The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon's 4th episode of its 3rd season titled La Justicia Fronteriza, Frontier Justice. First thing first, before we go to our acknowledgements, I wanted to say thank you for waiting for this episode to be released because this week I had Yom Kippur, which comes basically a week after Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. It is the Day of Atonement where we fast for 25 hours and it is basically lights out, which technically should be every Sabbath, but many Jews of all different stripes take this solemn holiday very seriously as a day of reflection, of asking for forgiveness, as the Day of Judgment has already passed. That is actually the meaning of our new year. The Day of Judgment has already passed, and this is your chance to kind of make up for a bad judgment that has been passed, making things right with one another, making things right with God. I don't know if you could tell, I am a bit sick, a little congested. I decided to, after the fast and after eating and after hours, to get this episode out as soon as humanly possible afterwards. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the extra content and effort that we put into it, the images, the clips from the episode, etc. Especially if you're watching it on YouTube or on Spotify video. And now you've reached the part of the episode where we acknowledge our Whisperers and Survivors members. Not in that order. However, we don't have any Survivors members. So starting with the first Whisperers tier member, we have Rob Lucchese, who was on the episode with us, whom you can find on youtube.com/@RobStuffAndThangs. You spell out the A-N-D, T-H-A-N-G-S. And you'll mostly find him on TikTok at robsstuff_ N as in Nancy _thangs, T-H-A-N-G-S. And of course, Kim.Rowley, the number 1 on Facebook. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this. And I sincerely hope you take advantage of both the merch and our merch store. You can get to either the old or the new merch from our website, squawkingdead.com. Hit the main menu and you'll have 2 options once you hover over buy merch. And I really can't wait to break down the next episode alongside you. Some really cool things I hope will be shown to us in the next episode. But just remember, no matter what happens, sincerely, we are Squawking Dead.